Hey everybody, welcome in. Now, farming gear. We all know it's important to have gear and to go up gear tiers. Now, there are a few things that I would highly recommend you must know about gear farming. So, on any of the gear equipping screens, you can see how many you own. On the right, you can also find where you can get these. Then, what I would recommend, so you can see them here, and you can also see, oh wow, I really want brooms as well as this gear. I really want each of those pieces as well as this gear. And then, as you can see, some go, oh well, I don't need any of the tier 1 gear anymore. Maybe I'll just go for the brooms. But if you need this gear, sometimes if you are just auto completing these, so if I were to auto complete one of these or just battle one of these, boom, I got a broom. And it's like, I didn't want that piece of gear. Why is it so hard to farm the gear that you want? Now, I'm gonna show you this. There on this screen, the piece of gear that you want is always showing on the left. Whereas if we were to go into, say, Heroes 4A, so let's go Battle Heroes and then go 4A. So let's go 4A. Now, if we click on this one, you'll notice here that the gear pieces, the broom is on the left, and that little shard, the crystal, health crystal, is on the right. The way that the gearing turns out in the quest mode is that there is a priority piece of gear and a secondary piece of gear. The priority piece of gear will always be on the left side, the first side, and then the secondary will be always on the second. So if you are wanting those pink shards, this is not a good level to do it on. But you can't tell that from the searching screen. So this is why I always recommend people click on the battle, or to go into the node manually, find the piece that you want. So now I'm going to step back. So all of these ones, the brooms are the priority, not the shards. So you need to actually go back to a level that's slightly lower, and then boom, now the shards are on the left. They are the priority. And so if I was to go auto win one of these, and again, boom. Now it's going to be more likely that I'm going to get that piece, because that is the priority piece. So some people go farming, oh man, I can't get the piece that I want. And yes, the drop rates are kind of low. Like I just tried 4 times? 4 times for one piece of gear. But it also helps if you're farming the wrong node and just not getting a piece that you want. So anytime you're farming, no matter what type of piece of gear, it is important. Go looking for the one that has the priority piece on it. So you'll notice that here, the brooms are on the right, whereas the extracts are on the left. If I was wanting to get those brooms, it would be better for me to go down to the stage 3 and go, oh look, the brooms are here on stage 3. They're all priority on the left. And then secondary drop are those other pieces. And then the more when you start leveling up, and then when you unlock extracts, all of a sudden extracts are on the left, and then brooms are on the right. And it's all relative to your gear level. So that is the best way to start farming. But on top of that, because now we know priority and then we know secondary, what's important to start doing is thinking about, now what piece, what is the main piece I want to farm, but what also is a secondary piece that I want to farm, because there can be multiple levels that have the same extract, whether it is in Heroes 2 Villains. So here, there's a heart extract on 4L, but there was also a heart extract on 4E. If I need the blue brooms, I should be going 4E. If I need those yellow brooms, I should be going 4L. So at least with the priority, I'll be getting what I mainly want, but then I can also be filling in what I kind of need or might need some more of on as a secondary piece. So that is what I always do whenever I'm farming. So if I am going and man, the tiers get harder and harder as you go. So as tier 1 is the basic standard motes, and then tier 2 are all those little shardy gear pieces just like this, and they're the single pieces. And then as soon as you get up to gear tier 3, you have you need multiple you need shards as well as brooms. You need 20 of them, so it gets important to start farming correctly. So farm the broom that you want with the backup shard that you need the most. Just gonna recommend there, you need like 3. Generally each character will have 3 pieces that will kind of need some sort of health heart or health powders or parts, and that's through all the tiers. Tanks will even use 4, same with some healers. So it's important to actually know what you're getting yourself into. Now if we were to go and look at a gear tier 4, we go in here, gear tier 4, then you start needing some of these fibers. And to work on a fiber, yet again, see, look at this, heart, and then there should be, like, usually there's another heart, so there, 3 hearts. So you need a lot of health, farm those. But you also need extracts. Find where the extracts are. You need the strange fibers to create and mix them. And then from the gear tier up above that, then you're gonna start getting. So if we go to tier 5, so here we go. Miss the old Hops the bunny. If we go to gear tier 5, we're gonna need threads, and to make 1 thread, you actually need to make the fiber. So you need to make 2 fibers to make a thread. And then to make the thread, you also need droplets. And here it starts. It just starts stacking and stacking and stacking the amount you need. So instead of just needing 15, you then need to have 30. And then you need 35 droplets. So the gear tiers go up and up and up. So this is how important it is to be farming what you need when you need it. And make sure you're preparing. Go and look at the pieces of gear that you need. Make sure for your characters you roughly know what you need to have. All characters will need a little bit of offense. All characters will need a little bit of defense. All characters need a lot of health. And then there are a few other specialties that will have things like speed and things like crit or potency or whatever else it might be. That'll be the more differentials. But then we also get up to gear tier 6. When you get up to gear tier 6, whew, you need 2 of each threads. So that goes and puts the droplets. You need 70 droplets. You then multiply this out, and then you need 60 extracts, and so on and so on. And then you need 50 of these other pieces for each of the pieces. And then if you have multiple threads, so 3 threads to make, 3 cloths to make 1, whoo, the prices go up. So be sure you're farming wise, but also take full advantage of any type of event that is giving out gear. So no matter what stage you're at, if you have say a 2-star or 3-star, those are giving you health brooms. Make the most of it. Do them and get all those health brooms. If you are able to unlock the greater ones and higher ones, getting all these mats when you see how much you need, make the most of it. And especially I'm very grateful that they give you health ones, since you need 4 to 5 for each character and you need so many of them. In my opinion, it makes it worthwhile doing at least the basic refreshers. And then if you're focusing on to get the characters as well, do some extra refreshers, because at least you're getting bonus gear that you need. So hopefully that has been helpful for you all. Anytime, any type of event that comes up that gives you gear, or even those little messages saying that, hey, you're going to get 2 times rewards for doing modes, get farming. Spend a little bit of energy, buy a couple of refreshers, get some more gear if it is important to you. So I would highly recommend that while you're farming. Hopefully this has helped. Hopefully you'll be able to farm better, make a few stockpiles. I will say I've done a video on what to best get in exchange. And the exchanges, if you want to check that out, I do recommend which ones you should and shouldn't go for. I'll just do one little quick snippet of what that video is like here on the gold exchange. For the brooms, 20,000 for 2 brooms. Okay. Compared to the club currency, whereas right down the bottom, it's 1,500 for 20. That brings it down to only per broom is like what, 100, 150 per two brooms, 150 per 2 brooms, so 75 per broom. That is so much better than 10,000 per broom. In my opinion, the gold exchange isn't that great anymore. It had its day when it was good, but I'd say the bottom row, the moats and the bursting, the dusts, they're all easily farmable. You generally only need 1 or so per character at the lower tiers, and then you'll need a couple more for like tier 3. But in saying that, still you don't need that many. So I'd say farm them. If you have excess gold, you can buy a couple here that you need if you really need, if you're struggling with farming. But that is the only time I'd recommend it. Try and keep your stocks at a healthy level. This is pretty much the best place to see how much, any of these places that show your gear, this is the best place to gauge how much gear you have. And I always try and load up and have stockpiles of gear that you need. And I'm still working my piles, and my piles deplete quickly as you see how much things that you need. So I'm going to recommend that. If you want to see more on exchanges, I have a video on that. Go and check that out. And until next time, happy farming, farm wise, and I hope this helps with your gearing issues. Okay, one more point. Besides just the exchange, one other thing. That's not the only way I do to measure how much I do have. I do actually go in and click. You can just click on the piece of gear that you're trying to farm and say, okay, I've got 300 of those. I've got 200 of these. I've got 200. So you can go in and click on the pieces that you want. And if you regularly do that and you regularly make sure you're topped up on how much you need or how much you want to have stockpiled, I think that's wise. For me, I try and keep my stockpiles minimum for the highest tier gear of like 200. Even for the lower tier gears, I try to have like 100 or more. So because you only need like 1 or so pieces of that at lower levels, or a couple of pieces of that, I find it easy just to stock up. And I do make sure I stock up, especially on events that have excess drops, or give you like tokens for event somethings during that period. Then it's worth to farm during those periods. But just go through, check on how many you have of each of the different gear pieces. There are some things like, you'll notice the recovery, the green ones, these browner ones, less characters need these. So there's 6 characters that need these. There is 4 characters that need these. So there's less healers. There are certain ones that everybody needs. So it's better to have more of those than some of the others. So work on the stacks that are relevant to you. I mean, don't, while you're still growing, don't overcommit and try and say, oh, I need 100 of the. Get your main team up. Work on loading up I always make sure that I've got enough to invest in the next event that might be coming down the road. No matter what it is, I just make sure I've got enough to invest in the next event. So I can always get a character up to a usable tier so I can compete in whatever the event might be. So I use that as my standard. And then from there, if I know I've got a lot of characters I need to upgrade, I always just top up and top up and top up. And then I only increase the characters as I need them. Because gear cost gets very expensive. And on top of that, your gold gets very expensive in the higher levels as well. So things start costing 500,000, 1 million, 2.5 million. It goes just like that. So check your stacks, find out what you need, and then once you know kind of what you need and kind of what you need to work on, this is going to be my next one to work on, and I need to get that back up to the 200th-ish mark. And then once I've got all of them up to there, I want to keep on working forward and so on and so forth. So find out what you need, work on it, gear appropriately, and happy farming. So hope you farm well, and stay tuned for next time. If these videos help you, I'd love to hear from you all. Drop a comment down below. It does actually help me. I get to know you, and I want to get to know you as my audience. It also helps me in the channel, so if you have liked this video and want to save it for later, chuck it on your likes. And then you can also share this with others if anyone else has questions. That would really help me a lot, and then it helps me to help you more. So, love to hear from you as always, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.